Hey, what's up? It's Comic95, the Savior, and for this video, it's going to be a Rant's Japanese journal. If you don't know what those are, please look back on my channel. You can even watch the first journal that I did. It explains it. Basically, I speak my mind, talk about random topics that are either going on in my life, in the news, that I've read about, whatever. But this one's going to be a little bit different. I really should make this a regular video, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing my hair and makeup. I literally just put on some Vaseline on my lips to give me some tint and not be crusty looking. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about something that I see get brought up a lot, both in my email and other places on the internet and forums. And I really don't understand what's so hard to get about this. And I've been in this situation before, so let me say what this is about so you can actually understand it. I keep seeing girls, especially in Japan in particular, act shocked about two different things. And you guys are going to kill me for this, but again, I'm speaking unfiltered like you're my friend. One is about their weight and feeling like, I don't know, like they don't know how to explain to people that they're fat, and they feel like guys basically run away after they meet them and realize, oh, you're not slim, you're obese, as well as women who have children that are trying to date. And I really want to talk about both of these things in a very respectful way. I can't fully relate to both of them, especially not the kids part, because I am not a mother and I'm not dating with children. But at the same time, I can imagine what that's like as a woman myself. And I think about how I came into existence. If you don't know my whole story, my mom was remarried. She got married twice, and I am from her second batch of kids. I'm the youngest out of all of my siblings. I have technically 4 siblings. It depends on when you catch me. I sometimes say I only have one because I only have one full sibling, which is my brother. But I do have 3 older sisters. And I think about how things are for my mom. I think about arguments that my parents have got into that were really ignorant. And I'm not going to get into detail about it. But long story short, I know that that's something that's constantly brought up against women, that, you know, they're judged for having children. And I feel like, I don't know, like it's a complicated situation. If you don't take care of your kids and you dump them off on somebody else, you're seen as irresponsible as a mother. But at the same time, if you keep your children, then men kind of treat you like you're not deserving of nice and good things because you have children. And I feel like it's a very, not really fine line, but a weird line, so to speak, because I totally understand why a man wouldn't want to step up and take care of someone else's child. But at the same time, it's not possible for you to love that woman without also wanting to love and take care of her kids too, because she's not going to put her kids on the back burner to suck your dick, basically. So I don't understand why guys don't get that part of it, especially if the guy came from a single family home to begin with. You should definitely be understanding. You have the right to decide you don't want to date somebody like that, but I feel like the stigma behind it, I can't explain it. Like I get it. I get where men are coming from. But at the same time, I don't know, like I just find it complicated. To me, I don't see why or how that should be a deal breaker. If you're a man, you have a career, you're serious about this woman. She's not just some type of one night stand, you know, friends with benefits or fling type thing. I don't understand why having children is a deal breaker. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to take care of both her and her children, because they basically become your children too. Like if you love her, it's a small sacrifice to make. And eventually you can and or will have children together, you know, as a married couple. But I'm not going to get into that part right now, or maybe not even in this video. I more so want to talk about, we'll get to that part again later, but I want to talk about the one that affects a lot of people here, which is your weight, obesity, catfishing, if you will. And I don't get why girls act like the solution isn't self-explanatory. If all of the pictures that you have of you on your dating profile are only showing your face, or only, you know, showing you with, you know, heavily filtered, etc., what do you think is going to happen when you meet that guy in person? Let me put this into a better perspective for you. And I'm sorry, my doorbell's going to go off in a second, so I'm going to have to leave. I'm waiting on my Amazon package. This is from the same day, like back to back. I just took a little break. If you watched my other video that I recently uploaded about, I forgot what I was talking to you about in that video, but you know what I mean. Anyway, same day, waiting on the same package. Yes, like, how would you feel as a woman if you matched with a guy on Tinder or a dating app like Pairs, and all of the guy's profile showed him inside of this really big, fancy apartment, and showed him driving a Lamborghini, and just showed all of the stuff that's alluding to the fact that this man is rich or that he has a good job. And then you meet him in person and he's dressed like a bum in rags, and he takes you out to, you know, a McDonald's style restaurant. Like you go on a, you know, crappy date to Yoshinoya, or what did they call it? Yoshinoya? Matsuya, whatever. You go and get a beef bowl for your date, and then you find out, you know, after you date him for a couple of weeks, oh, that wasn't your apartment. He's like, oh no, like that was a hotel that I stayed at on a business trip. That wasn't your car? Oh no, my friend rented it. He let me drive it. Wouldn't you be a little bit pissed off? Like, it was misleading. The reason why you probably found this man attractive or more attractive than your other options, or were willing to date him, is more than likely because you saw this lifestyle that he had and you thought that he could provide and give it to you. I'm not getting into the whole gold digger thing. I'm all for hypergamy, whatever. Is it hypergamy? Am I using the word wrong? Basically, what I'm trying to say is women marrying men that have money. I don't find anything wrong with it. Men go after girls that have nice looking bodies. Why can't women go after someone that's financially, secure and stable? I don't see the issue. It's a fair trade-off. But yeah, it's misleading to you. Okay, what's the same thing for the guy? If all of your pictures show you looking like this bad bitch, you just the finest thing ever, and you look so pretty, and you look like you're slim, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. If when you meet this guy, you turn out to be this 200-pound plus chick, you're nothing like you look like in your photos. What do you, like, why would he not be upset? Why would he want to see you again? You seem like a liar. You would have saved yourself the heartbreak, heartache, time, money, energy, and getting ready for that date just by being upfront. This isn't to bash you because of your weight. I used to weigh almost 250 pounds. I've been there before, and I need to lose some weight right now. If I don't stop myself, I'm going to be back in the 200s again. But at the same time, I know better. I know if all of my pictures show me looking like I'm skinny, and you're a guy who likes skinny, slim girls, you're going to be disappointed when you meet me because I most certainly am curvy. And in fact, you might actually find that guys who normally wouldn't like you might actually like you because, sure, they might not like girls in your weight range, but you're a foreigner and your body is built different than Asian women. I can use myself, for example. I see on guys' profiles, I won't say all the time, but every so often, where they'll specifically say that they don't like chubby girls, or they don't like fat girls, or that they specifically like skin girls or white girls. And they'll match with me. And I'll be thinking to myself, like, okay, well, not match with me. I have a paid subscription on Tinder, so I can see like who already liked me beforehand, just to let you know. But I'll see it, think to myself, like, why did she swipe right on me? And I'm clearly not a white girl. Or why did she swipe right on me? And you can clearly see that, sure, you can't see that, I'm necessarily really, really big. But you can tell that I'm not skinny either. You can see that I'm a little chubby. You can see my little gut. You can see it going on. And so I'm the exception to that rule. I don't look like how they expected me to. A lot of people inside their mind, they associate being black with being ugly. I'm not talking about the whole colorism thing. We're not going to get into that part of it. But simply just appearance-wise, they expect for you to be physically ugly. When they show black people on TV here, it's always somebody ugly, masculine looking, somebody being a clown, or them being mocked, made fun of, seen as dirty. They don't expect somebody pretty that looks, American celebrity-like. Secondly, when it comes to weight, if I were to tell a guy, oh, look, I weigh 160 pounds, he would think I'm a fucking cow. But you want to know what? I carry my weight differently. And on top of that, I am not Japanese. So 160 pounds on me does not look the same as 160 pounds on an Asian girl. And this is something that is really hard to explain, but they most certainly do carry their weight differently, like a lot differently. Like their whole body frame structure is not the same as ours, which is also why when we hear about how little they try to weigh, it sounds unhealthy and scary, which, don't get me wrong, there are definitely some unhealthy, dieting practices that go on here, but girls literally already being thin and trying to starve themselves. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, weighing 100 pounds or being 90 pounds, etc., isn't necessarily a bad thing for an Asian girl, even if you're the same height as her, because of how their bodies are built. Asian women aren't these extremely small beings like how people keep trying to act like they are. Their bodies are literally just built differently. For example, the average height of a woman in Japan is 5'2". I'm 5'3". I'm only about, a couple of inches taller. I'm really close to being 5'4", so I normally just say I'm 5'4". But basically, the average woman here is the same height as my mother. She's 5'2". I am just a couple of inches taller, but my body is not built like theirs. I'm curvy. I don't mean curvy as in fat curvy. I mean my body's literally curvy. I'm busty. I got a fat ass. Okay. And my waist is rather slim in comparison to my body. Do I have a flat stomach? Most certainly not. But you get what I'm saying? I carry my weight differently than how they do. So it looks different. So I'm not saying you got to necessarily put your weight on your profile. I don't do that. But I don't understand why girls don't show several pictures of what their whole body looks like. Like, you would save yourself the time. The guys that don't like you because you're fat, you're obese, you're whatever, you're chubby, your skin complexion, anything about you, you weed them out. Because they're not going to like you. They're not going to talk to you. They're not going to arrange to have a date with you. But when you mislead people by showing them all of these super, super ultra edited pictures of you that you look nothing like, where you have on tons of makeup, heavily filtered, and you have all of your, photos angled where nobody can see what your body really looks like, or better yet, only pictures of your face. What do you think these dudes are going to be thinking? They're going to be thinking that you're a fit and attractive woman. And not to say that being overweight stops you from being attractive, but you get what I mean. Okay. It's misleading. Just like how the guy that's showing you this really nice, which guys do this all the time on Tinder, lifestyle. And then you're going to meet him. He's just a bummy ass nigga. Like, he got less than what you do. So it's the same situation. It's misleading. It upsets you. Guys do it too, not just with money, but with their appearance as well. I most certainly have spoken to guys where their profile picture did not match when we met in person. I've met with a guy who had a very handsome profile picture, looked cute, and I met him in person. He was just the shortest thing in the world. And guys are going to kill me, but I'm being real. I'm a girl. I'm not a tall girl. And with that said, it is most certainly reasonable for me to ask that my man is over 5'4", or at least 5'4", at least 5'4". If you are 5'4" and you're Japanese, I'm not talking about people from the Philippines or Vietnam where their men are really, really short. No shade, just keeping it real. You are a very little nigga. You shorter than 5'4". Dude, this dude had to have been, I think he was 5 feet tall. It was so awkward. If I tripped and fell on this man, he would die or break his leg. I can't date you. I'm sorry. You're handsome. You're going to find a cute little Japanese girl or some cute little Italian girl, but it just ain't gonna be me. I can't date you. I'm too big for you. I weigh too much. I'm too tall for you. And I feel so uncomfortable being seen with you. I'm just being real. It's shallow, but it's honest. It's honest to God truth. And same thing goes for men. A lot of men don't want to be seen with a big girl. Okay, well, it's fair. I showed you what I look like. You were not entirely honest with me. Your pictures were only of your face. This is a guy, and this guy was in shape. He was fit. But it wasn't honest because he didn't have his height listed. He didn't mention that he was short. He doesn't show himself standing next to anything so you can get an idea as to what his height would be. It's misleading. It's disappointing. And while I felt bad for feeling that way about him, really, I had the right to be angry at him, which I wasn't angry at him. I felt bad for him. But I had the right to be angry, though. You misled me. You made yourself appear to be something that you were not. And my package is really late. And I paid them $10 to get it delivered. It is 12 o'clock right now. So supposed to get it between 8 to 12. So anyway, yeah, it just, I don't know, I understand it because you feel well, if I tell people my height, they're not going to date me. I at least want to see, who would date me, who would like me, whatever. But it's the heartbreak of getting rejected, of going to meet someone. So you already know in your mind, they wanted you. They thought you were attractive. But now when this person makes up an excuse to end the date early or to not see you again, you now know in your mind it was because you're short. And to me, that hurts a lot more. It's going to be a lot more heartbreaking to find out that I was attractive enough, but I was too fat for you, or I was too short for you. Why not just tell them beforehand? And same thing goes for tall girls. Like, I don't care if you're tall, if you're a tall girl, you're a fat girl. You're a short guy, you're a fat guy. Whatever the case is, make it known beforehand. I get it. Nobody wants to be honest about their weight. It's something that you have insecurities about, but you're only going to hurt yourself later. Because when you meet in person, you can't put a filter over your body in real life. We're going to see that you're a fat ass. They're going to see that you're a 12-foot tall chick. They're going to see that you're a 4-foot tall man. And you can call it shallow, whatever you want to. But technically, you're shallow too, because there were other options for you to choose from. And you chose me. You most certainly could have just looked for a girl that was within your height range. You could have looked for a guy or a girl that was, fat like how you are, or whatever the case might be. But you chose to get something that you knew someone that was either out of your league or that you knew probably would not be attracted to you if they knew what you really were looking like. And that's why, I had to, not to get off subject, but just on a personal level, I had to stop, lowering my standards to a certain degree. And what I'm getting at is, I used to always try to tell myself, oh, you shouldn't care about their weight, you shouldn't care about their height, etc. But it's like, they do. The fat old man that you're feeling sorry for that ain't getting, no coochie or whatever, he most certainly can get some coochie if he goes after the senior citizen chicks that are his age. Why are you feeling sorry for this man? He's willingly chasing after young girls that look hot, that are out of his league, and probably using his money, status, whatever, to get them. And that's cool. But at the same time, he might bash you for saying that you don't date, men that are more than 15 years older than you. But okay, I'm a bad person for putting a cap on how old you can be or how young you can be. But you're not a bad person for purposefully chasing after people that are within this age range or that are within this looks range or whatever, this weight, this height, this whatever. See how there's a double standard? Have you ever had guys that get upset, if you ask them to show you a picture of them and basically call you a whore or whatever else? And it's like, okay, so it's okay for you to like me based off of my looks because I'm attractive to you. But I'm a bad person and I'm in the wrong if I want to know who I'm meeting, or if I want to decide if I want to date you based off of your looks. The first thing we notice about somebody is their attractiveness. That's just facts. Why beauty is such a huge industry to begin with. Everybody wants to be sexy, beautiful, attractive, cute. Depending on how your partner looks, it will also determine what your children are going to come out looking like. You liked me. You swiped on me because you thought I was cute. And don't lie, you got in my DMs because you thought that I was hot. If I was some ugly grandma looking chick, you would not have sent me a message. Simple as that. I have the right to have my standards too. You like me because I'm cute? Okay, I don't like you because you're not. I don't like you because you're old. You like me because I'm young? I don't like you because you're an old ass man. So it's simple as that. So everybody has their own taste and whatever. I'm not trying to teach you to be, self-conscious or feel bad about yourself, but be open and honest. Nobody likes a liar. And I hate when girls just try to play stupid and act dumb, but they have no idea what they should do. You know what the solution is. You're fat. Make it known that you're fat. Quit hiding the fact that you are fat. Or you're going to have assholes send you mean, nasty messages talking about your weight, calling you whatever, thinking poorly. Yes, you most certainly will. You want to know what? It happens to girls that aren't fat too. But even better than that, you are going to save yourself a ton of time and money, because would you rather not make it known that you are big, meet this guy and find out that he's an asshole after you go on a date with him, have him ghost you, stand you up, pretend like he can't find you and he's right across from you and it's like, oh my gosh, she's a cow? Or do you want to make it known up front, hey, I'm chubby, I'm overweight, I look like this, take it or leave it, you don't like big girls, you don't like whatever, then just don't message me then. Let them make the decision themselves. Nobody likes a liar. Same thing goes with height. I have so much more respect for men that are honest about the fact that they are short. Most of the guys that I've dated in Japan, most certainly, okay, I lied. It's 50-50. I've dated, I've dated men that are shorter than me, but it never goes on longer than that, because if you're shorter than me when we met, it's because you lied to me about your height. You told me you were taller than what you really were, or you didn't tell me your height at all, and thus I was in for a surprise and I met you. But I have dated guys that were shorter than me. But I'm talking about serious relationship-wise, like real dates at least. I've dated, I would say, maybe 40% short guys and about 60% tall by Japanese standards. When I say tall, I mean men that are about 5'8" and up. And with that said, yeah, like when you do go on dates with these people, generally speaking, beforehand, they will have inside their profile what their height is. So if they're a tall guy, they'll brag about how tall they are. They'll be like, oh, like I'm, 179 centimeters, or I'm 185, whatever centimeters they are. Then you have the guys that will, apologize for being short, and they'll say, I'm chibi or whatever, like I'm small. And they'll say like, I'm 165 centimeters, or I'm 160 centimeters, whatever. And if that's the case, now when you do that, you're putting it in my court as the woman. I can decide if I want to be shallow, if you will. I can decide if I am okay with dating a man that is small, or if I don't feel comfortable. Because maybe you are a small man, but because I ain't a super tall girl, I'm okay with dating a guy that's 165 centimeters. I'm 162. It works for me. But my friend who's 175 centimeters, she's not going to want to date you because you're way too short for her. Likewise, I can't date a 160 centimeter guy, but I have female friends that are 154 centimeters, and they most certainly probably won't have a problem. Do they like short guys? No. All girls like tall guys, no matter how small the girl is. But at the same time, if she really thinks you're a good guy, she really thinks you're nice, she's not going to make such a big deal about it because at least you're taller than her or her height. Likewise, I'm the same way. I can deal with the guy being my height. It's not my preference. I want to be able to wear heels and not feel self-conscious or whatever. And I get it. I know people have their own taste, can do their own thing. Sometimes I tell myself that I don't really care. But at the end of the day, since I can choose and I know I have options, why would I go for a guy that's shorter when I can have a guy that's taller? Just like with money. Why would I date a man that's broke as fuck, struggle of, ain't got shit, when I can date a guy that's rich? Like, just think about it. And I'm not getting into the whole personality thing. I'm assuming that, these are guys with same personality, good guys, not cheaters, liars, etc. I'm not going into it doesn't matter if he has money, if he's a cheater. Okay, you can date a broke nigga, he'll cheat on you too. And shoot, I can give you tons of stories about getting played by broke men. So they do the same things. They're going to fuck you over and cheat on you anyway. Might as well do it with a guy that's at least making money and spending it on you. So that's how I see it. So we ain't going to get into that part though. But all I'm saying is, like, stop misleading people. You know that you have a slender face. You know that you can angle your camera a certain way, because I know I can, to make yourself look slim, look better than you really do. Then stop fucking doing it then, so that people aren't disappointed when they meet you in person. Simple as that. And if that is the case, because let's be real, nobody wants all their pictures to be of them looking pop busted and ugly. Show people what you look like when the makeup and shit comes off. I literally, like, for example, my Instagram is always listed on almost all of my dating sites. I always, every once in a while, I have like random pictures on my Instagram, including this video that you're looking at right now. I ain't got no makeup. All I have on is I have on some Vaseline on my lips. Tinted Vaseline. That's it. Lip tint. You can see what I look like without makeup. I don't have on any mascara. I'm not, wearing any concealer. You can see my acne scars, etc. Okay. I ain't saying you got to go that far. They don't need to see all of that shit. But at the same time, it shouldn't be where, you look at my pictures and you can't recognize me from seeing my pictures. You can look at me on Instagram and look at my profile picture and see, oh, it's the same person. You're not like, is that you? Now, of course, switching from hairstyle to hairstyle is another example of looking vastly different, but that's another one too. If you know you bald-headed, and all of your pictures are showing you with this long, beautiful weave on, but then you show up on your date with no hair, how do you think your date is going? Like, think about yourself. If the guy you're talking to has on a toupee in all of his pictures, and all you see is him with this nice, beautiful, wavy black hair, And then you meet him in person. He has a huge, clown spot in the middle of his head. You're going to feel cheated. Just like hat fishing with guys wearing hats and they bald and like just little stuff like that. You have the right to like what you like. I'm not bashing people for liking what they like, but I'm saying to stop misleading people though. You can post good pictures of yourself on your dating profile, but just be sure to have photos where you show what you really look like too. And even give a description of what your body looks like. You ain't got to go into extreme detail and be like, I have a birthmark here. I have 3 jelly rolls there. Like, you ain't got to say all of that. But just be honest and upfront. Again, what's for you is for you. What's not is not. And for the right guy, he's not going to care about that. I'm not skinny either. In Japan, I am a cow. I am a fat ass. And you want to know what? I don't give a fuck. Because who cares? Nobody. Like I said, I got guys begging on their knees for me to sit on their face. I don't give a fuck about what the 2 men that tell me, you look like a hippo, you're whatever. Like, okay, bitch, and you still want to fuck me. So I guess you went to bestiality then. You're a nigger lover, ha ha ha. That's how I see it. Don't waste your time. My package is still not here. Amazon needs to give me a refund. It's 11 minutes after. But, all right, I'm done talking about that. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. But basically, stop being misleading to people. Show them what you really look like. Tell them what you really look like. You don't need advice on that. You know what to do. If you know people are thinking that you look slim because you have a slender face, or because all of your photos are you angling the camera the right way so that your body looks slim, then stop fucking doing that. Simple. That's like a guy saying, all of these girls keep trying to use me for money. I don't know why they think I'm rich. Well, gee, I don't know. The only photos you ever post online are showing you at these fancy business hotels, showing you with your rich friends, Lamborghini and BMW. God, I have no idea what you could possibly do to let girls know that you are not a sugar daddy. If only you took pictures at home. If only there were some way you could use your own car in your photos. What? You can solve your own problem. Quit playing dumb. And then, like, same thing for guys. If you know you are fat, don't do the same thing that girls do too. Like the whole just taking pictures of your face to send to people, zoomed in, chin tucked in. Like nigga, look, let's see that triple chin. Let her decide. Let her decide if she's okay with dating you or not. You will still have people that will like you anyway. It's not going to be as much or as many. I'm not going to lie to you. But at the same time, you will attract the right ones. To me, it's a lot more hurtful if I meet somebody in person and then they decide, you're not my type, I don't really like you. That's embarrassing. You know what people actually say to me? I look better in person. So I'm thinking like, what? Don't you want that too? Don't you want people to look at you and be like, oh my God, I can't believe she's on a date with me. Instead of being like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm going on a date with this thing. We definitely getting separate bills. Like you're definitely paying for your half. Like why do you want that? That's embarrassing. That's humiliating to me. That's going to make me cry when I get home. Just be honest up front. You don't have money, don't act like it. If you're a small man, make it known, obvious. You're a tall girl, let it be known inside your profile. Show pictures of you that show how tall you are. Make it listed. Now my package comes. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, yeah, sorry. Anyway, my package finally came and got my tea. I wasted $30 to get a mix of 5 liters of green tea and water because I was too lazy to go to the store and carry it all back. And I not only spent more money to buy name brand tea than getting the generic tea and water at the store, but I paid a ton of money just to have it shipped and delivered to me. I paid basically, it's like $10 for the delivery, plus I have to pay like $5 for Prime or something. No, to schedule it. So whatever. Anyway, back on subject. Forgot where I was at. Yeah, I'm just tired of the whole catfish thing and people acting dumb like they don't understand what they can possibly do to warn people. Just put in your profile that you're chubby. Put in your profile that you're tall or short. If you want and feel comfortable, you can put your exact height or weight. Show what your body looks like in natural settings. Show what your face looks like when it's not heavily caked up with makeup, heavily filtered. just show you. In fact, even better, show a variety of pictures of yourself. Like I normally, for myself even, I like to normally include at least one photo of myself with curly hair, even although I never wear my hair curly other than on YouTube. But I just want people to know, like, this is what I really look like. And if you have a problem with me being black and having curly hair, then I just ain't for you. And same thing goes like for my complexion. As you guys obviously know, being a black person, depending on the lighting that you're in and also depending on, you know, filters, etc., your skin can look significantly lighter and or darker than what it really is. And with that said, if you look at my profile picture on my Instagram account, my skin actually looks pretty dark there, but that's not what I normally look like. My skin is normally a little bit lighter than that. However, being in Japan, I do tan a lot and I tan pretty heavily. So with that said, I like to use that as my profile picture because not only do I look really cute in that picture, but it also gives you an idea as to how dark my skin is. And if you have a problem, you think I'm dirty, I'm an animal, whatever, then you're not even going to bother to select through the rest of my photos. You're going to see that picture of me and be like, oh my God, her skin is so dark and dirty. It's not pretty. She's so ugly. I don't like her. And that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for saving me time. Thank you for letting me know that you're a racist. I don't want to speak to you anyway. Save me a lot of time. Are people still going to match with you and do weird stuff anyway just to send you racist, hateful stuff? Yeah. Same thing goes to those of you that are overweight. You will have people that will see that you're fat, read that you're fat, everything, and they will still message you just to tell you, hey, you're fat. So like, what's the purpose? You'll have assholes like that, but you get my drift. You're not going to waste a lot of time because you were upfront. Same thing goes people, you know, tall girls, short guys, etc. Just be honest with people. I know you see it as a flaw, it's hurtful to you, whatever. I've been in your boat. But at the same time, you're hurting yourself more by misleading people. You're basically lying to them. You're pretending to be something that you're not. You know that you don't really look like that. So make it clear that you don't really look like that. And better than just saying, hey, I know my profile picture looks really cute, but actually I'm a fat ass in your description. Show them a picture of what you look like. Because maybe just saying I'm a little chubby, you might think you're a little chubby, but in this person's mind, you're actually really overweight. So it's probably better for you to just show what your body looks like without it being angled properly and, you know, optical illusion type mess. But it's your body, your dating life, your whatever. All I'm saying is don't complain about how you can't get a boyfriend, can't get a girlfriend when you're misleading people and making them angry when you meet them. Like, I wouldn't want to date you either. That would make me upset. So whatever. And then, of course, I mean, I hate to tell people to change, but just being real, of course, you can't change your height. But things like weight, you most certainly can change. I know firsthand from personal experience, I lost a ton of weight during my first year here in Japan, and I'm working on doing that again because I've gained a lot of weight. But it's like, you can lose weight. Weight is not a skin complexion. Weight is not a skin complexion. It's not a color. Weight is not a race. Weight is not height. You can lose weight. You can gain weight too. You can do something about that. What you can't do anything about is your height. But still, once again, you should mention it. Let people, you know, decide for themselves. Let them decide. Is being too tall or too short a deal breaker? Is being too fat or too thin a deal breaker? Let them make that decision. Same thing goes for a girl. Like, think about it. You always think about, you know, weight, etc. But there are girls that are really slim that feel self-conscious too because they have no breasts, no ass, no curves, no nothing. Straight up and down refrigerator built bitches. And you want to know what? If you think you feel bad because you have too many rolls on your back, well, imagine how they feel in a country and society that worships and glorifies women's breasts. And that's seen as, you know, what makes you sexy and a sexual being. Sure, you might be able to wear whatever you want to. You don't have to worry about what you wear and feel self-conscious like how I do. But at the same time, you might feel self-conscious and not as attractive in comparison to women that do have large breasts and that are curvaceous, like someone like I am. So we both don't like our bodies. Basically, here I am trying to hide the fact that my breasts are so big and trying to avoid push-up bras. And here you are. You're trying to find stuff that makes you look bustier than you really are. And then, you know, same thing. It's kind of like a catfish too. Girls that don't have large breasts that wear these super padded, fluffy, whatever bras like 90% of Japanese girls do. Now, that one you can kind of get away with a little bit more because I think guys kind of just know to expect it. But it's the same situation. You know, you have on these super padded bras and then you get to bed and take off your bra and, you know, it's 90% bra and 2% your nipple is there. It's just a little lump of some fat on your chest. That's misleading as well. This guy's thinking that here you are with a nice rack and it's just a nice bra. So same thing goes with like fake, body parts, etc. Like I know they have, this isn't popular in Japan, but in the US, I know it exists, like shorts and pants, etc. to make it look like your butt is bigger than what it really is. So do what you want to do. Just don't, act stupid and surprised when you realize you're scaring people away because you come off as a liar. They thought you looked a certain way and you did not. So sure, you might be able to see what the potential matches you would have had if they didn't know how short or tall you were or how fat you were. Sure, you can see it that way. Sorry, my phone just went off. But at the same time, to me, it's more hurtful, as I said before, to see, wow, these are all the people that would like me if I didn't look like this. They like my face, but I'm too fat. They like my face, but I'm too short or I'm too tall. And I wanted to say screw those people or whatever, because again, in this situation, it's not a racist situation, but some of these things you can't change, like for example, height, but it's the same thing. Everybody has their own taste. They have the right to like what they do and or do not like. You would be upset if people misled you too. More than likely, you also chose to match and swipe on people that you found attractive. And just because you're fat doesn't mean you like fat people, which also means that you probably call yourself swiping right and super liking people that are muscular, have 6 packs, 7 feet tall, out of your league. So you're shallow as well. So don't call the other person shallow because they don't like you because you're obese. They have the right to decide they don't as well. Just don't act stupid and pretend like you don't know how to solve your own problem. People think you look slim because all of your pictures are of your slim-ish face. Then stop showing angled pictures where you're hiding your triple chin and pretending to be a slim girl. Or maybe you don't have a double chin. Okay, then show your whole fucking body. Simple as that. Then there's no confusion. You're causing your own problem. Girls think you have money you don't have, then stop showing pictures of you doing things that make you look like you have money. Simple as that. Girls think you're a normal height, then stop taking pictures with short people to make yourself look tall. Simple as that. Put your height in your profile. Like, the solution is so simple. I don't understand why this is so hard for people to understand. That would be like me having all pictures of white girls in my profile picture. And then I go and meet a guy and it turns out, yeah, he said he likes foreigners in his profile, but maybe he didn't mean a black one. We're not so common. I misled him. Here he is thinking he about to go on a date with a white girl, blonde hair and blue eyes, and my black ass show up. Just being real. It's misleading. You thought you were going on a date with someone that I was not. Yeah, I told you I was a foreigner, but did I say I was black? I'm not excusing it. We're getting into another area here. This is more of the gray area about race and personal preferences. But it's the same situation. Let's flip the roles. As a black person, if you're on blackpeoplemeet.com and you come across a profile of some ludicrous looking guy, and it turns out when you meet the guy in person, he's a white guy, are you not going to be pissed off? Yeah, you're going to be mad. You thought this dude was black. You thought he looked like Ludacris. Turns out it was a Snapchat filter. He had a spray tan. Like, what? Yeah, you're going to be mad. Doesn't make you a bad person or necessarily racist because you don't like him all of a sudden. Well, if I'm racist, then you're a fucking liar then, because you're not black and you ain't no Ludacris looking dude. That was blackfishing. You tricked me. You did the same thing to that guy when you pretended to be slim. He did the same thing to you when he pretended to not be short or to be tall or to have money. Just be honest and upfront with people. So off of that, I wanted to briefly talk about the women with kids situation, but I feel like that's the same thing. Like, I see girls like act like they're so shocked and surprised that they don't know about, culture here. And it's like, did y'all do no research before you came to Japan? You didn't do any research when people think about single moms before you came here. And maybe you became a single mother after being here. As I said before, it's two sides to it, but long story short, it's the same thing goes with preference. Not every man is willing to take care of someone else's kids. As a woman, I would prefer a man that doesn't come with kids. I don't have children. If I had children, maybe I'd be more okay with it. But even then, just because you're in a situation doesn't mean you want somebody else with the same situation as you. Any mother that has children, in my opinion, that's being totally honest with themselves, normally will prefer to have a man that doesn't have kids, even although she has her own. Why do you want to double the problem? Now, sure, some women will say, oh, I want a man that, has children so he can relate to me and understand better. But being totally honest, if you could find a man that could relate and understand you that didn't have kids, you would prefer that man. Okay, that's facts. Unfortunately, whatever circumstances there were, whether it was money, leaving an abusive relationship, he was just, a bad dad, was a no-show dad, whatever the case might be, you are now a single mom. And I know it might not be entirely fair, but at the same time, it's also not fair for another man to have to raise your children. You can't blame a guy for being into you until he finds out that you have kids. I'm just putting it out there. To me, it's no different than things like weight, height, etc. It most certainly is a deal breaker for a lot of people. And I know it's hard and complicated. And I'm not even going to say it's wrong, because to be honest, it kind of is right. It makes sense to me. But you do have to understand that things are going to be harder for you, and to avoid that same situation, just be super clear and upfront. I have children, and we come as a package deal. Like, I'm not saying that if you take me on a date, you got to buy them nuggets too. But at the same time, you do have to understand that I am a mother first. And if you can't relate to that, you can't understand that, you want me to put you first, and you want me to neglect my kids and just allow them to be abused by you or whatever else, this relationship will not work. And you most certainly are going to scare away a lot of men. And a lot of men that would like you because you're a fine woman, they're not going to because you have children. And it sucks and it's not fair. I know. But at the same time, how is it fair for him to have to raise another man's children? Would you want your son to do that? More than likely, no. You would want him to find a woman that doesn't already have kids to marry, especially if it's his first time getting married too, and if he's young. So I feel like that's the same thing. Like, a lot of girls aren't super upfront with the fact they have children. They'll have it written all the way at the bottom of their profile in little tiny print. Oh, by the way, I have a couple of kids. It's kind of being a catfish too. Like, you're not being open, honest, upfront. Yes, is it on your profile? Sure. But someone would have had to actually take the time to read through everything, memorize it, and see that part. And yes, sure, you might say, well, if he didn't read it, that's on him. Well, look at it this way, though. Would you rather have made it really clear to the guy that you have children and let him know up front? Or do you want to meet the guy in person, go on a few dates, and then when he finds out later on, when he tries to come to your house, oh, sorry, I can't, I have children, they're with the babysitter, they should be asleep right now. And then him ghosting you and leaving you. That's a lot more hurtful, painful, and embarrassing. I would much rather be upfront with you and be like, look, I have children. If that's not cool with you, then we should stop dating, stop talking right now. Let him make that decision, instead of hiding it and just kind of putting it out there. Oh, by the way, like, let's twist it. Let's put it like this. Let's use a disease. Imagine if you were HIV positive, and instead of putting it clearly out there in your profile, I have HIV, hope you understand, you have it written all the way at the bottom. I tested positive for HIV. No other mention of it. You don't talk about it. When he messages you, you don't confirm, hey, did you read my profile? Did you see that I wrote that there? And you wait until it's time for you to do the do, and then you mention to him, oh, by the way. And he jumps out of bed with you and is pissed off. Now your feelings are hurt. You've invested time, money, emotions, everything into this person. But his are too. He would have never gotten that far with you had you told him up front. And sure, we could technically blame him. He should have read everything. But you get what I mean? That's something big and important. You need to stress to someone. If you already have children, that's big and important. That needs to be stressed to anyone that you're dating. And to be honest, you can save yourself a lot of time and energy. Post a photo of you with your kids. You can blur their faces. You don't have to show their face. Japanese people do it all the time. You can even just write on your profile, like, they have it where you can now write on Tinder, for example. Post a photo of written Japanese and English saying that I have children. I am a mother. I hope you can understand. Whatever the case might be. And you will weed out the ones that aren't interested in dating someone with children. People that can't understand. The right people will like you, love you regardless. You don't want to waste your time and bait people thinking, oh my God, cute, hot, MILF, basically, even though they don't like the fact that you're a MILF, but you get what I mean. Cute, hot woman that's over 30, basically. That's what they're thinking. They have no idea that you have children because it's not obvious to them you have kids. If you make it obvious, now the stress is off of you. It's for them to deal with. Now you can decide. Same thing goes for me. You can see what my body looks like. You can see that I'm a little chubby. You can decide, is this my type? Do I like girls that look like this? Or is she too fat for me? You can decide, am I too tall for you? Am I okay with dating not just a foreigner, but a black foreigner? Because if I just say I'm American, but I have no profile pictures, and all of my pictures are of Sailor Moon and some anime character, when people think of foreigner or American, first thing that comes to your mind is white chick. You are not going to be thinking, oh, black woman. Doesn't cross anybody's mind. It's not because you're racist. It's because, let's be real, the majority of the U.S. is what? White. And even if you are aware that the U.S. has, other races, etc., what race of people do you see mostly in Japan? Almost all of the non-Asian foreigners in Japan are white by far. There are not many black people here. And when you do see black people in Japan, they are almost always a black man, specifically from some African country. And when they're not from an African country, they are normally from the Caribbean, which once again is not a black American. So if I just say I'm American, it's not a dead giveaway like me saying I'm, Nigerian or I'm Jamaican, where if you're from those countries, it's going to be a black person. It's a catfish. Let people decide. Are you going to say that you're not going to date me because I'm black? Okay, well, that's your choice, whatever. But I'm letting you make that decision. You can see what I look like. You can see that I'm black. You can read that I'm black. If you decide that you don't want me because of my race, that was now your choice. I am not shocking you and surprising you by saying, I'm an American. You meet me in person, it's like, oh, you're that kind of American. Now, the people that aren't interested in black Americans, I saved myself time. You saw my pictures already. You know what I look like. You know what you're getting yourself into. Simple as that. So, like I said, same thing goes for children. I might not have kids, but I see it as just being a simple situation. You have children, be upfront and honest with the fact that you have them. Don't mention it at the bottom of your profile or just fill out the part with, do you have kids, and say yes or no, because not everybody's going to read that shit about you. Make it clear in your profile, in words, that you have children. Show a picture that shows that you have children or allude to the fact that you have kids. When you first talk to somebody, make it clear that you are a mother. Should you have to do all of that in a perfect world? Absolutely not. Do you have to do it? Yeah, most certainly. And then keep in mind the bigger monkey wrench that I haven't talked about yet. Not only do you have kids, you are in a foreign country. Do you know how hard it is for somebody to not only, date a foreigner, but now you're throwing in Gaijin babies too? Like, damn. Like, look at how much stress that is on a man, on a Japanese man at that. Where being a single mother in this culture is not really a thing. Like, people will stay married even if they're miserable. They will not get a divorce. And when they do, they almost always wait until their kids are in college or at least in high school. So with that said, you're not only asking for someone to date you, who not only has a kid, but some of you have multiple children. Some of you have never even been married before. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm telling you based on how this country works. I don't make the rules. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you how the game is played. But I can also be real with you. That's a lot to take on. It's hard enough to deal with cultural differences. You have the language barrier. It don't matter how well you can speak Japanese. You cannot read Japanese at their level. I don't care how much kanji you know. You will never be at a native level when it comes to that shit unless you are just an old ass goose. And even then, you probably still don't have it down at a native level because there's just some things you can't learn by going to language schools here that you need from having grown up. These people have literally spent their whole lives practicing how to read and write kanji since they were, 5 years old, basically. And some of them still can't do it. And with that said, there are going to be differences and issues with language and accents and reading and writing. There will be cultural differences based on how your culture does stuff versus his culture. Damn, why is my phone blowing up? I get no messages like 90% of the time. And every time I try to make a video, everybody wants to text me. But Anyway, I don't get why people don't understand it. So it's like you're asking him, and even if your children are half Japanese or whatever, that's a lot you're asking a man to take on. You all don't even have kids together. You're asking him to not only be your boyfriend and your husband, but now he has to play daddy for kids that he didn't have time to prepare for. He has to instantly become a parent with you. And then even like dates, if you can't be as spontaneous when you have children, you need childcare, or your kids have to come with you. That's complicated. And again, in this culture, that's really not a thing. It's very hard to explain, but all I can say to you is people don't know how to react to that, don't know how to deal with that. Because in this country and culture, when people do have children, they stay married. And having children outside of, wedlock is just not a thing. Does it exist? Does it happen? Most certainly. But it is not nearly as common as it is in the US or Europe or other countries, etc. It is shameful. It is looked down upon. And it's a huge cultural difference. It's hard. And I feel for you as a single mom. I know that there are other reasons why people can become single moms. It's not just because you had sex outside of marriage, which everybody does. But it's like, okay, if you get caught with a baby, though, then you're looked down upon. So it's okay to fuck. It's okay to not use condoms here because nobody does. But God forbid you don't get an abortion. Then everybody looks down on you. God forbid you leave an abusive relationship. They don't even know why you're a single mom and people automatically judge you. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But you also have to understand that just because your situation is bad, you end up in a bad situation, doesn't mean that somebody else wants to sign up and take care of your difficult problem, though. I'm not calling your kids a difficult problem, but your situation is difficult. It's a lot for someone to be taking on. Dating is hard to begin with. Dating a foreigner is even harder. Dating a foreigner with kids? And again, it goes back to the same thing. You'll save yourself a lot of time and trouble. Be completely honest and upfront with people. Don't hide the fact that you have kids. You might say, I have it in my profile, I'm not hiding it. Girl, if the only place you have written that you have kids is in the box that says, do you have children, yes or no? That's still hiding it to me. You're not upfront about it in your written profile. Everybody's not going to read every little detail in your profile. Most people just skim through it. Do you know how many profiles guys and or girls see a day? Too many. We don't have time to read all of that shit. We will quickly look through it. And we may or may not have caught every little detail like that. Be open, be honest, be upfront. Save yourself a lot of time, money, effort, energy, heartbreak, tears. Because now, even if you only get 3 people that respond back to you and like you, at least these 3 people are real options for dating versus you not saying that you have kids, only putting it in the small little by the way section and getting thousands of messages and likes. Now, yeah, you got all of this attention, but 99% of these niggas finna drop out the moment that you tell them, oh, by the way, I have 3 kids. And their father is American. I hope you don't mind. And I don't speak Japanese that well. Gee, kind of wish you told me that before I wasted money on messaging you. Do you see what I mean? It's a waste of their time too. They have every right to be angry with you. You misled them. Girls do the same thing. It goes both ways. Women also don't normally like men that have children. Because that means that some of his salary is going to paying child support. That means in a woman's mind is a possibility that he might divorce you too. Or he might leave you with your kids. There's so much that goes into that people just don't think about. So it goes both ways. It's hard for both people. I know for myself, I used to say that I couldn't do it. And I kind of did say in this video too. But I honestly have mixed feelings. One part of me, I feel like I could consider dating somebody that has children. But there's a lot of things that need to be done beforehand. For starters, he'd have to have a really good job, have really good money where he could take care of his children. And I want him to still have a relationship with, his baby mama and his children, because I don't want to be pulling someone's dad away from them. There's just a lot into it that I would need to know before I could be serious with this person. And honestly, I would much rather take the guy that doesn't have kids over the man that has them for obvious reasons. It's drama, issues, and stuff that I don't want to have to deal with, especially since I don't have children myself yet. And I'm also automatically making it where if I do have kids, they automatically have half siblings, whether they like it or not. They have these other siblings that may or may not be racist, have to deal with, his baby mama. Like, who wants to deal with all of that crap? Why? You have to give a man, and same thing goes for a woman. You have to give, but I'm speaking from a straight woman's perspective, you have to give a man a reason to want to play daddy for your kids, especially when he doesn't already have his own. That's hard. It's expensive. It's time consuming. Because again, you have to ask yourself, what makes you better than the thousands of other women that do not have children? Why should he choose you? Why should he take on you, your baggage, your problems, your expenses? Why? I get it in your circumstance as a single mom. Totally understand how it's unfair. But I'm just saying, you also have to see from his perspective too. I'm not talking about the ignorant ghetto guy that wants you to put your kids last. I'm talking about the guy that just flat out says, I can't date a woman that has kids. I'm sorry. The respectful man, not the ignorant, I don't date, no, watch that used has-been pussy. I'm not talking about the dude that's acting like, your whatever, what do they call it? Used goods or whatever, baggage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the respectful kind that's just like, I really just can't date a woman that already has children, because that's exactly what I'm like. I cannot date a man that has kids. I can't do it. I can't marry one. I can consider it, and under certain very special circumstances, I could date you and I could marry you, but it's going to be really hard for you to meet all of that criteria for me. And I feel like it's the same way for a man. I'm not asking you to put your kids under me, but at the same time, I want there to be balance. Like, I don't want to feel like the person I'm with is cheating with his baby mama, and I don't want to feel like I'm pulling their dad away from them either. So there's just so much that goes into it from my perspective, in my mind. For a lot of men, though, their reasoning is more selfish. They want to be put first. They want to be the king, and they don't want you, to have any contact with this baby daddy type thing. They don't want you to care about your kids' well-being. They want to be able to beat them and knock them around, and for you to be okay with it because he's dad. And don't get me wrong, if he's going to step in and play dad, he should be able to discipline your children in a way that is appropriate. But at the same time, I understand from a girl's perspective, a lot of guys don't know how to do that. They take things too extreme. And they go from playing dad to playing king. And that's problematic. But we're not going to get into that crap. All I'm saying is be upfront with people. Be honest. Save yourself time and money. I'm making a 3-hour video, but I had to say this because I kept seeing stuff about that. I'm just thinking to myself, like, what's so hard to understand? You have children, tell people that you do. Make it clear. Don't just slightly mention it. Like, think of it this way. If you are a girl that has a really good looking body, you're going to show off that body at any chance. Just like a man that has money. You're going to show off that money at any chance. Okay. Nobody likes to show off their flaws. But when it comes to dating, especially online, where people don't know what you look like in real life yet, you kind of need to be clear about your so-called flaws. You don't have to literally show every little detail about yourself, but things that could potentially be deal breakers, you most certainly should have that listed and or mentioned, and not just kind of mention the bottom of the paragraph, but I mean, show physical pictures of it. And is it flattering, sexy, pretty? Maybe not to the wrong person, but to the right person, they won't care. And honestly, people be a lot more appreciative and see you as being honest and truthful because you've made this clear up front. Now there's no surprise. In fact, honestly, no matter how big you are, more than likely when people see you in person, they're going to think you look a lot better, no matter how short, tall, big, fat, skinny, whatever, than your photos show you as. Because more than likely the pictures that you took showing the ugly things, the things you don't like about yourself, they didn't make you look as good as you really do. And so when people do see you in person, they're going to be like, wow, you're so beautiful. Wow, you look so much better than the picture that you sent me. You want that. If all people are seeing is super glamorized, super Photoshop, heavily edited pictures of you, they're going to be disappointed in real life. So that's that. When doing online dating profile, just be open, honest. Have kids, mention it, show it. Fat, mention it, show it. And more importantly than anything, if you do nothing else, show it. Because you might use the excuse, oh, I didn't see this. But you can't tell me you didn't see that second picture of me, you know, swallowing a Big Mac whole. You saw that I was fat. That's just facts. You can't tell me that you didn't see the picture of me, you know, in the labor and delivery room holding my newborn. So I don't recommend posting that photo, but you get what I mean. You showed clearly that you are a mom. So again, people are going to judge you, whatever. But to be honest, like in that circumstance, I can make another video on that later. It's possible to get married here. It's possible to have children here. I actually have a student from my last job whose mother had, you know, just gotten remarried, and she had 2 children, one that was 10 years old and another one, you know, that was 6. She got remarried to another Japanese man. So it can happen, but my phone is blowing up again. It can happen, but like I said, it's so much harder. And honestly, as a foreigner, like in that situation, I would just advise maybe considering going back to your home country to date if you really, really, really in your heart want to get married and you don't want to wait forever. Because you can find someone here with, you know, being a single mom, but just going to keep it real with you, it's going to be significantly harder than it already is as a foreigner. And to me, it's just not worth that stress as a woman because your time is already limited, especially if you want to have children. Why waste 5, 10, 4+ years trying to find someone when you could just go back to your home country, easily find a man who would accept you with your children and be willing to marry you. So unfortunately, life comes with choices, and those choices we sometimes regret, and they are consequential and they have actions. And even if something is not entirely your fault, at the end of the day, like you chose your partner, you chose to give birth, you chose everything. And I think it's something that I have great respect for women that do choose to go through with their pregnancy and have a baby, even when everyone's telling them, you know, not to. People that, you know, choose to take responsibility for their actions. You chose to have sex. You put yourself in that situation and choose to keep their kids. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. I respect people like that. People constantly knock them and put them down for it, but that takes a lot because it's a life decision. But at the same time, once again, you have to understand that while it might not be fair because maybe you left an abusive relationship, but you chose that relationship too. So I'm going to speak out of both sides of my mouth, but keeping it real. You chose that relationship. It was your fault at the end of the day. You picked a bad person. And it might not seem fair, but in a way, kind of is. It's consequences for your actions. I am the result of a similar situation. My parents are legally married, but they might as well not be. My life was hell. I grew up not really having anything, and it really came down to my mom choosing a crappy partner for the same situation. She was a single woman, had 3 girls that were young, wanted to get married, wanted to have more kids. Out of desperation and feelings of the past, because she dated my dad back when they were in high school, and they had been friends and had crushes on each other since they were 7. They got married and had me and my brother, and we should not be here. And you want to know what? That was also a result that was consequential on her end too. She spent her entire life being in bad relationships, being miserable, not having money, being overworked and underpaid. Why? Because of the men that she chose. I'm not trying to bash my mom enough. I should be making this video. She's going to see it, and so will my snitchy stepsisters who are so obsessed with me and want to lick my pussy too. Yes, I said that. They're going to see this, and that's fine because I want them to. It's the same situation. She was miserable. It hurt me too, but at the same time, it ruined her own life. She never got to really experience being a wife, being happy, being a mother. None of that. All taken away because of choosing the wrong man. And while she was legally married on paper, she was basically a single mom. My parents were separated for the majority of my life. It was like not knowing my dad. My dad wasn't around that much. I saw him a lot throughout the year. We went on visits all the time, pretty much weekly. The longest I've gone without seeing my dad as a kid was maybe like a month or 2 at best. But I always saw my dad. Maybe a few months might have been the record or something. So, yeah, it's really It's crazy. And I feel bad, like I said, because I understand from my own circumstance, because I used to feel bad for my mom before I fully understood everything. Deep down inside, I still do. I feel bad for anybody in a situation like that. But at the end of the day, even if your partner is abusive, which that was the case with my mom, it's your partner. You chose them. And not to say that you have to stick with them because of that, but you have to accept the circumstances or consequences that you've put yourself into or caused. It's a chain reaction. You choose a bad partner. You have kids with them. Well, what do you think is going to happen when that relationship dissolves? Now you're going to have trouble finding a good partner, because now the good partners out there, they don't want a woman that has kids. Most of them don't. You are now significantly narrowing your dating pool. It's harder just to go on dates, even with the guys that want to date you, because now you have to find a place that's kid friendly, somebody to watch your kids. And now you're talking about doing that in a foreign country like Japan. Good luck. So it's whatever. And again, not everybody is like that. That's not the purpose of this video, because somebody gonna come and be like, look, actually, I'm dating just fine with kids. Good for you, Elsa. But I'm talking about the majority of people here cannot easily find a partner with kids. It's a lot harder. They have to give up a lot of things and settle for less in most circumstances, because you cannot be as picky when you have children. I can be picky. I can say, I ain't dating no man with kids. You got to have this salary. You got to have this job. I've gone to this school, live in this area. You need this, that, and the other. I can do that because I am young. I don't have children. As an older woman with kids, especially, if you're over 35, you don't have those same luxuries anymore. I'm not saying you have to settle for less, but I'm saying at the same time, being realistic, if you don't want to settle for less, you're going to have a harder time finding anything. I never suggest settling for less, but I do believe in being realistic though too. You can't expect a 6-figure salary guy that's going to give you some fabulous millionaire-like lifestyle when you come with baggage that most people don't want to have to deal with. And in a country where that type of baggage is taboo and unheard of, because what people do that are in your situation, they suck up, they accept the fact they're going to be a single mom, and they give up on it. Or they run around and have flings with people, just casually have sex, but have zero interest in trying to get married because they know it's never going to happen with a serious guy. And it sucks. It's not fair. I hope it changes. I'm not advocating for it and agreeing with it, but I'm just being upfront about it. Like, that's the way that life is. And same thing goes with girls that are big. Like, generally speaking, if you are big as a girl, you're going to need to lose some weight if you want to find a good partner and or get married. Will you find a man? Can you get married? Yes. I know plenty of girls that are over 200 pounds, that have husbands here, that are married. Their husband isn't even fat. It happens. But being the exception doesn't make it the rule. Being married doesn't mean that your marriage is good and that you're not getting cheated on and lied to. Being married doesn't mean you have a man that's a good provider for you. You might have one thing. You might have your little fake $10 Amazon ring, but you might be missing, the contents of it. You might not be able to do a couple things because you can't afford it. Your man doesn't have a real job. He didn't graduate from college. Sure, you might have a handsome man, but now he's cheating on you because he knows he can get better. He doesn't really like your body. So this is a really messy conversation, but I just want to say that because it was on my mind. I just hate, it's like, why we back like it's so complicated, to understand what catfishing is. More messages. Oh my God. It's not that complex. It's not that hard to understand. Be upfront and honest with people about the things that you want them to be upfront and honest with you about. You would be upset if you were a single woman back in the day when you didn't have kids and you went on a date with the guy and then he later dropped the bomb. Oh, by the way, I have 4 kids. That would kind of upset you. Okay. Well, he feels the same way. And like I said, same thing goes for guys and girls. If all of your pictures are you, showing, oh my God, my back is so itchy for some reason. If all of your pictures are you showing you, if all of the pictures of you, all the pictures of you showing you, if all of the pictures of you are just of your face, and you know that your face doesn't show that you are fat, do something, change it. Your profile makes it look you're a single, you know, not single mom, a single girl living her life, and that you don't have kids. They're all pictures of you at the club, getting tattoos done, tongue kissing people. What do you think guys are going to think? Oh, she's single and she's a whore. That's what's going to cross their mind. They are not going to expect that you have kids. Yeah, you might have checked the box, yes, I have children. But looking at your profile pictures, all they see is a sexy ass woman that's clearly promiscuous. And they just trying to get it in. Okay, well, with that said, you misled them. Fix it. Don't want to waste your time? Fix it. Don't waste their time. Again, what's for you is for you. It won't be for you, will not be for you. The people that get scared and run off because that you're a mother and that you have children, fine. Meeting them in person wasn't going to change their mind anyway. The people that don't like fat girls, meeting them in person wasn't going to change their mind anyway. The only way these guys' minds going to get changed is they're going to be like, well, I'm already here. Might as well fuck her anyway so I don't waste my time and money. He's going to ghost you. Just be upfront and honest. There are plenty of men who are willing to date a girl that's big. There are plenty of men that are willing to date a girl that's tall. There are plenty of men that even will date a woman that has children. You might have to change your standards a little bit and be realistic. But you can most certainly find someone, no matter what your situation is, no matter what you look like. It might be easier to do abroad, I won't lie to you. And if time is not on your side, then I most certainly would suggest going back to your home country to get what you're looking for. But if you are most certainly, you know, you have your eyes set on, I'm going to get married here, I'm going to do whatever, I ain't finna judge you. I hope that it does work out for you. But I'm just being realistic. You're making it harder on yourself by trying to force yourself into getting married here in Japan. So that's that. I'm done with this video. I pissed off everybody that has children. I pissed off all the short guys and all the big girls. And I didn't mean it. I just had to speak my mind because I was tired of seeing this stuff going around. People talking about, you know, online dating and how it's not for them and it's not going to work and they can't find a good guy. And it's like, your profile makes you look like you're easy. You look like a whore on your Tinder account. You don't show that you're big. You don't show that you have kids. And there's more than just Tinder. There's OkCupid, there's Pairs, there's Japan Cupid, all of the different dating sites. It's like, you have to make your profile not only presentable, but show that you're serious and show what you're looking for. And when you do that, you will attract the right kind of people. There will always be those people that try to slip through the cracks and will talk to you anyway, but you will get a lot less of those people if you make it very clear and upfront, not only in your written part of your profile and your bio, but also through your pictures. If your bio says, I want a serious relationship, but all of your pictures are showing you having an orgy, what do you think you're going to get messages for? If you say you're looking for a serious relationship, you want a wife, and all of your pictures are you showing you shooting money at your money gun, you think you're going to attract a serious girl or you're going to attract a gold digger? Okay, just keeping it real with you. So I'm done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let's argue in the comments. Tell me what you think. Agree or disagree. Guys, chime in. What's your opinion on this? And yeah, we will talk about this. I'll see what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. And yeah, sorry for making this super long video, but I enjoyed recording it. Thanks for helping me wait for my package and getting hydrated with my tea. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.